Hello, this is Vignesh and this is my demo for the VCC assignment 2. So as you can see on my right monitor, this is my sole instance of the instance group because the load is currently very low. So now I will SSH into it. Share this window here. So it will start up in like 10 or 15 seconds. This is the built-in SSH client in the browser for boot out. As you can see, I'll just clear this. Who am I? So I'm assigned from the roll number and I have all the admin privileges. So uh, then I had actually installed a package named stress, and so I'm going to use it to increase the load. So what this command does is it starts 4 CPU workers as it is shown in the command. So dash dash CPU. So for CPU, if it was GPU, then we could have started 4 workers on GPU, and timeout is the duration. So that is given in seconds. So 600 seconds or 10 minutes. So we don't want that many worker for working for that duration. So we'll reduce it to say 3 minutes. And this is because if we make it just 1 minute, so currently the auto scaling delay is set to 60 seconds. This is because if there is a consistently more load uh, than 70% on the machine for a period of 60 seconds, then only the auto scaling will trigger. This is done so to ensure that during machine startup, whenever like the machine starts and loads all the packages, starts the starting script, that time the load actually reaches above more than 70%. So to ensure that the auto scaling does not trigger during that time, we set a buffer period of 60 seconds, which is there in GCP by default. So we'll make the high load go on for like 3 minutes so that it has sufficient time to see that there is enough load, and then we should start more instances because the low CPU load threshold is set to 70%. So now I will run this command and you can see it has started. So now I will launch another SSH from my right hand side and bring it here. Maybe reduce the size of this one. Yes. Okay. And close the top command. We can see the CPU usage has reached well enough. Like 4 workers have been started. Like you can see B2C has received 4 times, and this one is for just for SSH, which was shown now. So these have these much load, and if we refresh on the VM instances screen, for now they won't start because 1 minute has not passed. But once it passes, we will be seeing two more instances starting up here. And since our policy has been set to even, so now currently our VM is in US Central Zone F. Those will be set in maybe Zone A or B because that is according to our VM instantiation policy. So we have to give it a time of at least 1 minute so other instances can trigger, and like we can continuously refresh and see if other have been done or not. Okay, so in till that time, I will launch Google Cloud using another of my accounts to show how IAM has been set up. So if I go in IAM, you can see that this the last entry, but these two are the default ones. This last entry I've added manually to my other account, and I have only given a viewer permission. So if I go in and open another Cloud Google uh, okay, console, yeah. So I'll go on my dashboard. And yeah, I can see like the other three instances have started. So if even if I go here, let's go back. VM instances, the two other have started because to distribute the load. because the 70% threshold were reached on this one. So these two have started according to our auto scaling factor. So yeah, now as you can see, if I go to my main account, I have the ability to create instance and modify them and such. But if I go to this one, I have no permission to create instance or do anything because this is only a viewer role which I have given. As you can see from the IAM. Uh, and in the left hand see we have seen the duration has been completed, but to shut these VMs there will be more time needed because by default in GCP the time duration for scaling in, like to reduce the scaling, is set to 10 minutes. So if 10 minutes pass without 70% load on the CPU for any VM, then the rest of the like VM instances will be shut down. And now currently we can see in the another terminal that the CPU load has been well dropped to 3%, which is the normal one. So coming back to here, we only have view permissions, and even if I try to connect using SSH to any one of them, let's see what happens. First it shows me a warning, and again it shows conditional that I do not have enough permissions to SSH into this instance, because SSH is like a write permissions kind of, because you can modify the files on that VM, and since I've only given them the viewer role, I cannot SSH into this to do anything. So yeah, I have to give this permission to myself to be able to SSH. So this is the IAM setup, and now coming back to the, let's see, to the firewall setup. Okay, so I have set this custom firewall rule, and according to this, I made sure that any outgoing request, as you can see, direction is egress to these port ranges specified, it has to be blocked because the action on match is deny. So any like whatever the source is, if the destination is one of is included in one of these IP ranges, you have to deny that connection. But currently, I have disabled this rule. Uh, Wait, I'm using from another account, so I'll go from here. Yeah, firewall. Okay, now I should have permission. Yeah. So in this, like, I'll go to edit. Yeah. So in this, if any of these match, then I have to, like, it is like it won't allow it to. But currently I have disabled it. So if I coming back to the terminal here, if I let me do this, if I ping www.cry.org, you can see that ping request is going successfully, ICMP request. That is because we have disabled this firewall rule. But now so you can see like 0% package loss, all packets had gone. But let's go and enable this firewall rule. So enable and then save. So the last entry in this is for this server uh, only, for the cry.org IP. So the firewall rule has been enabled, and let's try pinging it again. Just run that command again. You can see that nothing is happening because our VM is trying to send packets, but the firewall is blocking the packets from going outside. And if we cancel it, we can see that 12 packets were transmitted, but none were received because the firewall cut them half in between. So this was our firewall setup, and I also showed the IAM setup on the other account. See, in this account, like I have only read permission, I cannot modify the firewall rule, but from my admin account, I can modify whatever do with this firewall rule. So yeah, this was the firewall setup. I showed the IAM setup and also the auto scaling setup. And for let's go to the instances. So I go to the instances, and still I see three instances lining up. But for them to shut down, it will take some time. So I will fast forward the video and hopefully we can see them shutting down after 10 minutes. Okay, and I also forgot to show this. Like the initial one was our instance was this one N0GR was set up on F, and the other instances were spread out over other zones like B and C. This is because of our firewall policy of evenly spreading out the instances across the zones in the region. So If I did not do that, then there was a chance this could have been set up in F only, the other instances. So this is also another security feature, because if let's say there was a flood or some other attack on a particular zone, and if all my VMwares instantiated on that particular zone, let's say F, then all would have been shut down, unfortunately. So to prevent that, this security policy was put in place. Okay, so you can see like this instance is being stopped. Like this is like at 7:40 right now, and we started. I think it's like the it was over by 7:30 or something, 7:35. So now these instances are being stopped because the load wasn't there on them for 10 minutes. So if we can refresh, maybe these are gone by then. So the other one is stopped. This one is currently in the process of stopping. And if you go to observability and check the graph of CPU usage, you can see like this is the, yeah, this like 7:30. So we started it at 7:30. This is where the our first VM reached the peak load, and then these VMs, other VMs were immediately started, and the load was over by 7:30, and so now it's at 14, so 10 minutes have passed, so these other VMs have been shut down as well. So this was the auto scaling in action. Can see if this is still shutting down, and like this is the instance group details. Yeah, so this is the instance group and which I had created. So uh, auto scaling min 1 max 3, which is why it won't make more than 3 VMs during peak load, and 1 VM will be on all the time. And this was the template. It's like the basic template, so medium machine and like 2 core vCPU, 4 GB RAM, Debian 12 bookworm, US Central one. So yeah, pretty like the lowest cost machine. So yeah, this was the assignment to demo video, and thank you for watching.